following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Let's go, baby!
Are you ready for a break?
Yes.
Are you ready for a break?
Absolutely.
Ready for a break?
Yeah, and so much for that.
It's time for The Break on DallasCowboys.com.
We were on the break!
With Nick Eatman, David Hellman, Ambar Garcia, and Derek Eagleton.
It is Monday. It's Monday here, live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star. We're talking about the Cowboys' big win last night. It's another win, I guess, another win to stack on top of wins that they've had this year. They go to 4-1. They beat the New York Giants 44-20 in their latest win at AT&T Stadium. And we're going to break it down for you guys.
Are you okay?
Tell you guys, huh?
Are you okay?
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have episodes. We don't have years.
No,
we don't have any of this stuff.
I was talking to you right before, and I was on the wrong page. I do know it's season 17 and episode number 38. So
yeah.
Jeff Heath, let's go.
Is that going to be your 38?
No.
The GOAT. It should be.
Not for me. Not for
Who's
me.
your 38?
Quick story. Dwan Hawthorne.
Oh, I remember Scooter.
Scooter. Yeah. When I got here, I didn't know, nobody knew me, and he was my only guy in the locker room that I got to talk to, and he made the team. He's a good dude, Scooter.
Yeah.
Dwan Hawthorne. Ron Francis is another one though.
Okay.
Ron Francis. But yeah, and they
Scooter
go.
Hawthorne. I
Jeff
like that one.
Heath.
Yeah.
I love it because you always throw out names that are from our early time
Yeah.
with the Cowboys, where we weren't the Cowboys were not very
Yeah.
good at that time, but there were some good dudes on those teams, you know.
Definitely.
Good people. All right, let's talk a little bit about this big win. Cowboys win 44-20, another division win. Why do you keep laughing?
You didn't hear what Beam said?
I don't have
Beam
Oh,
said
you don't
that.
have your headphones
He said, I'm
on.
surprised you didn't say Roy Williams. I think he wore 38 for an hour.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 hours. No.
Cowboys get another win within the division, now going to 2-0 within the division. They are 4-1 overall. They take a commanding 2-game lead, if you can call it that, here early in the season in the division. Let's look at big picture storylines. What's the story of this game? Let's start first with you, Dave.
You really want to know? And I
really want to know.
It's got nothing to do with the game, to be honest with you. This is my observation over the last 10 hours. You know, I try. We talk about this. I try to keep up with the entire league. I think it makes me better at my job. I also just love football. So I listen to as many podcasts as I can. I do the same thing that you're doing right now. I don't listen to The Break on my drive to work, but I listen to. I know. I'm sorry. How vain would that be?
I listen to our show every day.
You listen to your own voice.
No, I
for
listen
an
to
hour.
our show because I want to know how I can be better, how we can be better, like all those things. Go ahead.
I do that sometimes. Whatever. So I'm listening to my NFL podcast as I get ready today and drive to work. Not a word about the Cowboys, and that's amazing. Why is it amazing?
Wow.
Why is that amazing? It's great. That's a good thing.
Yeah, but I would have thought they'd been all over it because ratings are still ratings, so people love to talk about the Cowboys.
No, because they beat the crap out of them. And not only that, but it's just expected. They're like, yeah, the Cowboys are really good. They waxed the Giants on to the next thing. We got to talk about Bills, Chiefs. We got to talk about Browns, Chargers. It's not a storyline.
Yeah.
It's not a storyline that they absolutely dominated a third team in a row. And that's exciting because not only are they doing it, but people are just taking it for granted. Like, well, yeah, I mean, the Cowboys are great. We knew that. So that's really my big takeaway. Sorry, it's not about the game. But
that is a big, because that's a different storyline. That's not the storyline we've been used to for a long time.
I think the league is on notice. The league sees what's happened. They're just like, yeah, the Cowboys look pretty special. And beating the crap out of a woeful Giants team is not impressive to people based on what they've been doing so far.
Nick, big picture story.
They won by 24 points against a division team, and they looked like crap for a while. And that's impressive to me because you're going to have moments like that. You're going to a lot of pressure. Dak can say what he wants. He's human. He knows what the game is. He knows what month it is. He knows what week it is, and he knows the opponent and all that stuff. And they came out, had a few turnovers, and defense kind of sloppy a little bit, but when it was time to kind of put it on them, they did. And I understand the Giants had a ton of injuries, and nobody cares. And no one cared about the Cowboys last year. No one cares about this. So, you got to do it. But you got to beat a team like that by 24 points. They look like a Thursday night high school football team, which is a JV. That's what they look like. And they were playing with those type of players, and so you better beat them, and they did, and that's just impressive to keep doing it that way, and we haven't always seen the Cowboys just kind of, they play to the level of their competition. Not this team, not right now. So.
Yeah, we got some storylines I'm going to go through. If you remember on Friday, we went through all the storylines of the game. So I'm going to run through some of those. And
how do you even judge? Like, all the guys we spent most of the week talking about didn't finish the game.
Well, speaking of which, that's where we're going to start, because we talked about this being a game where it could possibly be, the type of game that was a trap game. You kind of look past them. You don't think they're as good. That all being said, Dallas started off kind of sloppy, as you said, Nick. And had it not been for injuries to Jones and Barkley and Golladay, do you think this would have been a different sort of game? Would we be talking about this game a little differently today than we are right now?
No, I don't. I don't know. They played sloppy. They really did. And I agree with Nick completely. Like, it's impressive that they were able to play as poorly as they did for as long as they did, and it was still a laugher. But, like, at no point, and I know, Saquon got hurt on, like, the second play of the game for them. I get that. But at no point, like, even when Daniel Jones was in there, did I feel like the game was getting away from him.
It's 10-10 there, and after they scored, and so it's kind of getting them. I thought that was the moment of the game was when they answered, and how they answered. But Glennon is not your running threat like Jones was, and so he probably throws the ball a little bit better maybe. But I don't think I still think the Cowboys win. They probably don't win by 24. Barkley's not Devontae Booker, and but Golladay getting hurt did nothing because he didn't do anything.
I don't think he had a target.
Three targets.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No catches though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is sick. Oh, we got an elephant. Let's go. Elephant's just sitting right there. His name's Trayvon Diggs. It's just,
oh, gee. Okay.
We'll get to the elephant. I want to hear what you're about to say, and then let's get to the elephant as soon as
maybe they win that game 34-21 instead of 44-20. I still think they win by 10 plus points if everybody.
My guys
healthy.
were calling it all weekend. I don't know what Rob picked or whatever, but I know. I mean. Dave tweets out, I don't care.
That's a joke. Like, I wasn't actually. That's not a game prediction.
You said Cowboys by 24.
That was a joke. I do that almost every week where I'm just like, I don't care if it's Daniel Jones, Mac Jones, blah 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 blah.
Yeah. Tommy Lee Jones.
That's just me having fun. But I mean, they did. They
by
did,
24.
They hit the mark.
Now Kyle Yeomans hit 44-20.
Did he?
On the dot?
Wow. Okay.
44-20. You didn't see him post it, retweet it, and pull it into his own Twitter. Yeah.
I'm sure he let everybody know.
Yeah. I hope his arm's not broken. But no, that's impressive.
It is impressive.
I've only done it one time ever, and not that I can remember. I think I would have patted myself on the back too.
No doubt.
No, it's impressive, especially 44-20 like that. But Diggs, this is sick.
I don't even know how you even really describe it anymore. I mean, the interceptions that he's making, these are not your I'm just in the right place at the right time, ball gets tipped, and I grab it.
You got after that guy on Twitter.
Well, I didn't really go after him. I'm just like, what do you want? Like,
he was like, it's Glennon, relax.
Right.
Like, okay,
what about all the others? Like,
what about Justin Herbert?
Right.
What about Tom Brady?
I mean, this guy's doing some amazing things, and I will be honest with you, even if it were the type of interceptions where, guys just in the right place, right time, ball getting tipped in the air, we ain't seen it. Like, it ain't happened in a long time around here. So
imagine watching DB play for this team for the last 10 years and giving a damn how the interception comes about.
Right. But it's outstanding. We haven't seen these type of picks.
No. And that's I do wonder. I haven't had a chance to go back and look. I mean, he was beaten. He was beaten on that throw, or at least it looked like it.
The deep throw?
Yeah, and that's so
was he?
Was he baiting him? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't either.
He slingshotted up there though, didn't he?
That's when you made the comparison to Dion Sanders, and you saw Dion do that throughout his career. Like he would everything presented as though this guy actually beat Dion, and then the quarterback throws the ball, and then Dion be like, "Hey, I got you."
You thought
if you haven't seen it, and Cowboy fans have, but if you're just a little bit younger, maybe haven't seen it, just Google Dion Raiders 1995. because that's what that play was. It was his first year with the team, maybe his second or third game, and Rocket Ismail had him beat. Now Rocket
can run.
Rocket can run.
Oh yeah,
and he
don't call him Rocket for nothing.
And he not only caught up to him on a deep ball, just jumped him, caught it. Just GOMB, just got him, and then showed the ball and came back with it. It was a very similar type of play. Just Dion, Raiders, 1995, same type of play.
Yep.
I'm just happy Richard Sherman let me off the hook because I don't want to talk out of my butt and exaggerate and say things that aren't true. But if one of the best corners in modern NFL history says you're DPOY, let's go. I don't feel stupid saying it then if Richard Sherman thinks it.
And I did the same thing in my column. I mean, because I think Dion Sanders is the greatest football player the Cowboys have had. Maybe not Larry Allen, but I mean, right up there. I mean, greatest athlete in NFL history, maybe in sports history. Unbelievable. But he's Dion. I mean, Diggs is playing at that level. We haven't seen anybody do what he's done. And I looked this up. Dion has his 7 interceptions was the most he ever had in a season. He had 6 when he won DPOY. Is that right?
Yeah.
DPOY. Defensive Player of the Year. He had 6. Now, he did have 303 return yards. He was taking it to the house. But this is like that. And something's got to give. I said this on the radio, if you might have heard that. A great corner does one of two things. They lock down the number one receiver and shut him down. Or they just go get the ball and get interceptions. But when you're doing both, that's insane.
It's wild, man. And it's funny. Like they were throwing at him. He had a couple chances at it, and that it was fantastic watching the crowd at the stadium. Like because Diggs made 2 or 3 plays on the ball before the pick, and you can just hear the crowd go like, oh! Like, just everybody can tell it's like that's 7. He's doing it again.
It's so fun to watch him play.
My dad, he listens all the time. He texts me throughout the game a little bit too much, but he'll text me, and he'll be like, "This defense is so fun to watch, and they used to be so scary to watch." It was frightening to watch the defense, and now you're just like, oh, it's kind of exciting. It's like, oh, we've got to get back and see if Diggs gets another pick.
Yeah.
I've never felt that way the whole time I've covered this team.
They didn't have playmakers like that.
Not even like when the defense was solid, like in 16 or 18, where you like, all right, let's see what they got on deck today.
Usually you had a great pass rusher in those days. When you would get 2007, those years, whenever they had a good team, they typically have a good pass rusher.
Yeah.
I've never in the time I've been here watched them have a really great secondary guy.
You know who we can thank for this? Calvin Ridley, Amari Cooper. Oh. I don't know who the receivers are.
All the ones that are in the NFL right now.
All the ones that Diggs weren't better, than
Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs.
Yeah. All those guys that win the first round.
Trayvon, have you thought about playing corner? Because we got a lot of first-round picks at receiver. Why don't you come on over here?
And I said it here not too long ago. I mean, like, he has those kind of skills that you could see. Yeah. If you didn't have all these star receivers on this side, you could see where we may have to run a couple plays for him, because he's got that kind of ball skills.
Yeah, I laugh to myself, and I'm not trying to throw shade at Jordan, but I was laughing thinking about how fun this offense is. I was like, we're not that many years removed from when they just had a cornerback go out there and run the jet sweep instead of all these different playmakers.
Yeah.
I would be down to see Trayvon do it, though.
I want to see it at least once just to see. Yeah.
You know what's kind of weird about it? And this could be he could be baiting everybody, but he walks around like he's 52 years old.
He does.
He might be hurting or whatever. He's kind of like, you can tell he's got something wrong with him. But I think it might be a game.
The whole game, I was like, man, Trayvon doesn't look like he's right. Oh, he just almost intercepted another one.
Oh, yeah.
Trayvon doesn't look like he's right. Oh, he got that one. Like, he's just, I don't know. You're right. It's kind of the Jim Brown thing. They say Jim Brown used to always do that where, after every run, it took him 20 minutes to get off the ground and kind of make his way back to the huddle, and then he'd break you for 60. Like, it's just like that was his game. That was how he did it.
Whatever works.
Yeah. But let me ask you this.
Who's Jim Brown? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I know, you know. But the point is, when you said it, I'm thinking there are some people out there that right now, like Jim Brown. Who's that? Did he play for the Cowboys?
Raiders.
I hope that's not true.
I hope not.
No.
How did they use Trayvon Diggs though yesterday? Was he traveling with Galladay?
Yeah, he was.
That's it. Why Galladay didn't?
He didn't do anything.
Yeah.
That's what's you say it all the time. Well, they're not going to keep throwing at him. Well, if you want your best receiver to be a factor in the game, you need to.
Yeah.
This is unprecedented. I mean, I just haven't seen this stuff. And even I'm not going to say his name anymore. I'm done talking about him. But some of the other great cornerbacks, they don't always travel like this either. Yeah. So
we have to talk about him at least a little bit because Zeke did a high step into the end zone too.
That's
so it's just a Dion kind of vibe going on right now.
A lot of weird things happened yesterday.
Yeah.
And one of them being Zeke falling on a pylon that I don't even know why is even there.
Yeah.
Why do you need that there? You know where the first down is? Like, why do you need another pylon?
Is that one harder?
It must have something in it.
I think we're so in the weeds.
I know. I don't know where we got here.
I think they put that there so that you have the camera in the pylon to see if the ball gets over the line. Yeah.
Okay.
But I love
that idea.
It's
a good idea.
Why don't
put a laser on it? How about that?
We talked about this after the Eagles fiasco. Like, why do out of shape guys with chains decide where it just doesn't make sense. None of it does.
It makes no sense at all. Okay, I did have one other question on Trayvon Diggs for you guys. If you remember on Friday, I asked you guys over under 9.5 interceptions for Trayvon for the season. You want to change your opinion?
I said over.
You said over. Nick,
I said under. I went 8.5.
You ready to change your opinion? He only needs 4 more in 11 games.
I mean, there's going to be a little bit of a, slow down.
Is there? I've been, like I said, I'm just trying to play the numbers. I've been banking on it to stop for 3 weeks at this point.
How many does Anthony Brown have?
2.
And
That's the most he's had in a season in his entire career.
Diggs has 6.
He did it twice, yeah.
Yeah. I bet he closes the gap on him a little bit, though. I really do. I think he will. Just the way this thing's going to play out, I think he's going to start getting a little bit more. He's the Larry Brown to Dion. Mm-hmm. That you're going to benefit from some of these.
He's going to be a Super Bowl MVP. I love it.
Cool.
I would just bury me. I'll die with a smile on my face if Anthony Brown,
so awesome,
Super Bowl MVP.
I saw your tweet yesterday. Like, come on, guys. Like, he is perfectly solid. I love the way you put it. He's perfectly solid. That's what he is, right?
He is like an average.
He
grade.
said that.
Yeah, he tweeted that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because somebody tweeted at me, tell me again why you said Anthony Brown is solid. And I said, because he is.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly what he is.
That's exactly what he is.
Yeah, he's public enemy number 1 now because Jalen's gone.
Well, and scoring touchdowns helps.
Yeah, no, for sure. But he gave up the desperation third down to that was Tony's Tony's first catch, right? 38-yarder. I mean, it was. That play reminded me so much of Madden. Just some twerp kid rolls out on third down, kind of just extends the play and throws it up, and you're just like, "This is what we're doing." It's not even real football. That's what that reminded me of. And you're going to lose some of those. Anthony Brown he's just at the average mark. He's a fine NFL starter, and people want to kill him for that. That's okay. The way the NFL is, you're not going to have a Trayvon Diggs at every position. And I think it's funny that people hate him so much for being decent.
Yeah, somebody asked me on Twitter when Joseph comes back, whose spot does he take? I was like, Nashawn Wright?
Yeah, right.
I'm not going to write off the possibility that he starts getting reps and
yeah, he needs to.
Sure, but
he needs reps.
There's no reason. There's nothing I've seen so far going through training camp that suggests to me that he's better than Anthony Brown right now. So why mess with that?
Because I'm telling you, in 2 weeks, you got New England. Yeah, you get through this. It's gonna be a game. They got the best coach ever over there, so it's gonna be a game. And I'm just guessing the weather will be crappy. I don't know, but it probably will be. And then you got a bye week, and then you got Minnesota, which they've got. They've got receivers. They've got one that's great, and then Adam Thielen's not bad either. So I'm just saying they'll be tested.
Going back to my point from the top of the show, I just like, how deep into this do we need to get? Like, on to
That's
the
what you were
next
saying.
one.
You're saying when you were trying to prepare it last night, you were like, these games suck to prepare because it's like, okay, well, he was good. He was good.
Yeah, right.
Just get out of the way, Giants. Nobody cares about you. You're bad. We knew you were bad. We knew this wouldn't be a game. It wasn't. The Cowboys slopped around and tried to make it interesting. And I don't know if is that a trap thing? Like, is that what fans are worried about? Like, were they not focused? Or and Dak kind of talked about that. He was like, maybe the injury was lingering in the back of my mind. Maybe it took some time for me to get past that. But for them to look as sloppy as they did,
Amari Cooper said,
I love.
When are you gonna bring that up?
Absolutely love this goal. Let's tell you what. Let's take our break. We'll come back. I want you to tell everybody a little bit about that because you interviewed him.
Yeah.
And the quote you put on Twitter, I absolutely love.
I didn't tweet a better one, honestly.
Okay,
like,
great.
He was amazing.
You can tell us that one. We'll do that when we come right back. This is DallasCowboys.com radio.
Before there was a draft, you could size up a cowboy by 3 simple factors: the crease in his hat, the bend of his brim, and his unbending attitude. A man Stetson didn't just protect him from what life threw at him, it projected a rugged, unstoppable spirit. Stetson hats are still American-made with pride right here in Texas. They're still the unofficial crown of all self-respecting cowboys, and Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find a retailer nearest you at stetson.com/cowboys.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way. Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
Back to the break.
Check out the new Miller Lighthouse located outside AT&T Stadium. Enjoy yard games, Cowboy cheerleaders performance, beer gardens, and much more. A game ticket is required. For more information, visit AT&TStadium.com/Miller Lighthouse.
Welcome back to the second segment of the break, live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star. We're talking about the Cowboys win 44-20 over the New York Giants. They are now at 4-1 and 2-0 in the division. Right before the break, we were talking a little bit about Amari Cooper, and he had some interesting things to say last night after the game. I think our producer Chris Beam has some of that. Let's listen to that. What did he have to say?
It's not about the opponent we playing. It's about like our standard. It's about like us being the best we could possibly be. Because our mindset is on a championship. To be a championship, you want to be clean. Like as an offense, our goal should be to score every drive. If you score every drive, how can you lose? And so when we fall short of that, that's when I kind of get like worried a little bit because when you're on a roll like this, it's just you start thinking about a Super Bowl. That's just the reality of it, and you start to want it more and more and more and more the closer you get. And you just start to worry about the little things more, like if we get stopped this drive, dang, what if that happens, later? And see, that's just how I be looking at it. Yeah. But we just gotta play a little bit cleaner, and I think we could. That's the only reason I'm talking like this because I really think we could.
I'm laughing not because of what he said, because I know exactly what happened because I've been down there. I know exactly that the bus drove away halfway through that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because it's a bus. It's sitting there. They got to get the air conditioner on and all that, and then the bus finally drives away, and you're thinking, God, I wish Amari would have started a few minutes later. But okay, sorry, I'm just derailing that point. I love that he said it though.
So when you hear the phrase Super Bowl, that's when everybody's eyebrows perk up, obviously. But and I tweeted about this. What really stood out to me, like Amari I felt like he was just dying to get that off of his chest. Like maybe I hadn't been doing a good enough job getting to the question he wanted to answer, because I tried to be nice to him. I was like, well, y'all weren't very good in the first half, but does it say something encouraging that you played that poorly and still were able to? And I didn't finish my point. He was like, nope, that's not good. That we're not taking positives from playing like crap for a half. That's basically what he said. And he said it's all about perfection. That's the goal. We've got to be clean. And he wasn't having it. And he said it himself. He's like, that's what's on my mind. And how can you not think about that when the team is playing this way? And like I said, he was on a mission to get that point across, I felt like.
Yeah. I remember asking you guys last week about that and what gives you confidence or not that this team is the type that won't read their press clippings and get too satisfied with everybody talking about them. Those are the kinds of things. And you talk about leadership. Those are the kind of things that if your leaders are thinking about and saying and doing, then you expect the team's going to be listening to that, and that's how they're also going to respond. It's not good enough to win 44-20 when you had moments that just weren't very good.
I'll tell you this, Nick. We might have to fight or something, man. I don't know. It's fun getting to do that, especially when they're playing this way. So I got to, if behind the curtain a little bit, the way this works in the post-COVID age, we used to just flood into the locker room and talk to whoever we want to. Obviously, that's a no-no right now. So the heavy hitters are made available on the big podium. Mike McCarthy, Dak Prescott, Trayvon Diggs right now. I would assume if
Micah Parsons, yeah.
Well, not even him. It's really the big of the big. Those guys get
I thought Micah was on yesterday too.
Was he on?
I thought so.
Different one.
Okay, go ahead.
Big podium.
Got it.
The big of the big. Then there's an ancillary room.
Oh, yeah.
Where you go sit down at a table, and it's Micah, whoever had a nice game, and then everybody else just. It's been Nick for a year.
Yeah.
It was me last night, but just literally everyone else that the press might want to talk to, they put in a request. PR brings those guys to me. I put my phone in their face for 3 to 5 minutes and blah, blah, blah. So I talked to 10 guys in the span of about 15 minutes last night. And when they're playing this way, it's fun, man. and I just came away with the impression, especially Amari Cooper's a great example. You heard what he had to say. I don't have to say anything else. But even and this one really registered with me, Zach Martin. He's a good quote, but he's not he's not going to say something like that. He's too smart. Mm-hmm. He knows better. But the look in his eye, just about the way this team is playing, you can tell. And I even asked him. I was like, "You've been around for a minute. You've been on some good teams. You've been on some teams that were capable of runs like this. Feel kind of familiar?" And he's just kind of smirking at me. Basically, I was like, "You're not going to say it, but I know you can feel it." And the energy is contagious with this team right now.
Yeah. Well, we might have to fight about it because Derek was up in the press box with me yesterday, and
I can't say what Nick said. He didn't really like it though.
He wasn't happy.
He didn't like having.
This is my 23rd season, and I've never not gone down to the field and to the locker room. Yeah. I didn't like it at all.
So. Well, in a non-COVID time, it can be 10 minutes left, and Nick starts kind of poking, "Hey man, you want to go down the sideline? You ready to go? You ready to go?"
Well, because
Nick, it's 10 minutes.
Nick
left
and
in the
Brian
game.
used to be in a competition.
Right.
Brian wanted to go down when the fourth quarter started. He wants to be down. It's like a drug.
Well, it's also too this mini fear of the crappy elevator.
Happens.
Which is the one reason why Washington has got one thing going for that stadium is the fact that you don't need an elevator. Of course, you have to walk a mile and a half, but at least you don't have to worry about elevator.
But you're in control of your own destiny, right?
But I know exactly what you're talking about, though, and yes, it's fun. It's fun to go do that, talk to the guys, especially because what you told me, they all just come in bunches. You think turnovers come in bunches? How about interviewing players after a game like that? About 4 are standing there, but if you win, they're probably like, cool.
No, like that's the funny thing is, so again, I mean, I don't think anybody cares too much about the mechanics of how this works, but like, you try to have a conversation with a guy and have rapport and kind of build a relationship, all that type of. So I'm having a nice chat with Malik Turner, probably a 4-minute interview, which is not long.
Yeah.
I said Malik. I said
I was about to.
Malik. No,
I was gonna say
Malik Hooker. I'm sorry.
That makes sense.
Malik
You
Hooker.
Kind of talk to Malik.
No. So me and Malik Hooker having a nice little chat. Not a long interview by any stretch. And I look over, and like Anthony Brown, Tony Pollard, Carlos Watkins, like there's just a line of guys that PR's got waiting to talk to me.
To Hellman. I want to talk to Hellman.
And I'm like, first of all, I'm like, holy crap! All right, I got to wrap this thing up. These guys are gonna be pissed. And number 2, I'm like, wow, the fact that they're even waiting around is a sign of how well the team's playing. Anthony Brown, he's not a jerk by any stretch. He's always been nice. He's always been a pro, but he knows what people say about him.
Yeah.
He knows, and so I even remember. Going way back, he got mossed during OTAs by CD, and it wasn't a catch in a game situation, and he was so salty because it went like mega viral. He was like, it wasn't a catch. Y'all just picking on me because I'm me. And so my point is just like, again, he knows he's not everybody's favorite player, but after that game, he was dying to talk to me. He was like, yeah, this is what I saw. Damn right I saw that throw coming from a mile away. They tried it on me 2 other times yesterday, and I finally got him. I was like, damn, like everybody on this team is in an amazing mood. This is incredible.
Yeah. Without a doubt. I guarantee you Tyron Smith wouldn't have waited like that. I do know that.
Tyron, well, he might not have waited, but Tyron Smith stopped by to mess with Tyler Biadasz while I was interviewing him. So.
Yeah.
Well, let's take our final break, and when we come back, I do want to talk about Tyler Biadasz because he had some moments yesterday that were a little bit shaky as well, and I think that's something worth discussing. We'll do it when we come right back. This is DallasCowboys.com radio.
Hi, I'm Clint Tillison with United Ag and Turf. Before you can park yourself in front of the game, park yourself in a John Deere and power through your chores. Our Land Run package is a 1025R, 25 horsepower tractor with a loader, rotary cutter, and a box blade for $229 a month. And the price you see is the price you'll pay, no surprises. So don't miss another kickoff.
Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com. Offer ends February 1st, 2021. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Now let's get to work.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
New Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. You deserve it.
I do deserve that.
You deserve decadent flavor without sugar. And a day at the beach without sand getting everywhere. And a relaxing bath that your children don't interrupt.
I deserve all that?
It's really just a visual metaphor for Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. Everything you want, nothing you don't.
A visual metaphor on the radio. I do deserve that.
Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. The zero you deserve is finally here.
Before there was a draft, you could size up a cowboy by 3 simple factors: the crease in his hat, the bend of his brim, and his unbending attitude. A man's Stetson didn't just protect him from what life threw at him, it projected a rugged, unstoppable spirit. Stetson hats are still American-made with pride right here in Texas. They're still the unofficial crown of all self-respecting cowboys, and Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find a retailer nearest you at stetson.com/cowboys.
Back to the break.
Be the first to receive new offers, event information, and more when you sign up to receive text messages from the team. Text Cowboys to NFLDAL. That's 635-325 to receive 10% off your next Pro Shop orders.
Welcome back. Final segment of the break live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star. We were talking about some different storylines from the game. If you guys remember last week, one of the questions I asked you Friday was how would Dallas's offensive line, and specifically I was talking about guys like Tyler Biadasz, Terence Steele, some of the younger guys, handle the size and power of the New York Giant defensive front. They did give up 2 sacks yesterday, and they gave up 5 quarterback hits. Let's zero in a little bit and tell me how, first of all, you thought Tyler Biadasz played in that under those circumstances.
They're obviously running the ball pretty well, and so a lot of that comes from him. And they make checks.
Even
and
early
like
when
that.
they were sloppy, they were running the ball.
They're running the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he's part of that. He's doing a nice job in there. But the shotgun snaps are an issue. They were an issue last year when he was a rookie. I know they were an issue for Andy Dalton, and I think they're becoming an issue with Dak as well. The ball is all over the place, and the one he dropped was not on Biadasz. It wasn't. But trust me, when you're thinking about where the snap is going to be, that you're always thinking that, and so it's probably in his head a little bit. I mean, those snaps are not great at all, and that's one thing that needs to be cleaned up for sure.
I'm glad you said that because I did think it was ironic. The one that led to a fumble looked fine to me.
Yeah,
it looked more like Dak was a step ahead of the action there. But there was one that he had to reach up for. There was another one that was off to the side.
Yeah.
I talked to Tyler about it. He wasn't super eager to chat about it. Just kind of next play mentality, good or bad. You guys just got to keep rolling. I was like, cool. I mean, it didn't kill you, but yeah, I mean, in a close game against a better team, that's just not stuff that can happen.
I feel like this is the version of the like clock management type thing where it's like, because the last few weeks it's been something. It's like, okay, it didn't kill you, but down the road,
yeah.
And this is kind of that down the road, and and I feel like I can say that even more so because I've never been comfortable with this position since last year. I just didn't like the way they approached it. There's no recourse to it, too. Anybody else, you're like, well, put in who? Put in Connor Williams? I mean, that ball will be all over the place.
Yeah.
So for who? For what? It's really what you can't do anything.
Yeah.
I
just wonder how well Conor McGovern's practicing. That they've been open about the fact that that's something that's happening. He's getting reps in practice.
I'd like to see that. I think if he was practicing it, I think I would like to see that.
It doesn't matter at this point because we're into the season. We're going. They didn't do it, but like, why didn't they do that earlier? Conor McGovern played center in college for a whole year. Like a whole season of his career was spent at center.
But at this point, the role that they have for him is kind of a nice role.
Sure.
And they use him quite a bit as that extra offensive lineman, that sixth offensive lineman, that fullback. Like, I think he has a really nice role.
He's going to get the ball.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. With what Kellen's doing, absolutely.
I can't wait for that.
I just mean, and to be fair, I have heard Connor Williams pushed for that. Like, he wanted it. Diversifying his portfolio for when his contract's up, whatever. But he wanted that experience. He wanted those reps. So I'm not going to tell him no, probably. But they should have done more than getting to training camp and being like, oh, yeah, we don't have another center. That's probably not good. Yeah. Like, that's awful. Like, I hate, you're talking about Yeoman's patting himself on the back. Like, you and me have been saying this since April at least. So
yeah,
I don't know. I don't think Tyler's terrible. I think that needs to get cleaned up for sure. And I'll steal a point from my buddy Duke Manyweather with O-Line Masterminds. He works with Lane Johnson. They do a bunch of amazing stuff.
And they've worked with a lot of these guys.
He's worked with all of them. I mean, he's worked with.
I mean, he does his camp right here. Yeah. Like 10 minutes. I mean, not 10 minutes. More like about a 10-minute walk from where we office. Like,
but so
right here on campus.
He's worked with Tyler, and one thing he said is like he just needs to get more confident with his offhand and his reaction time and all that stuff. And I just wonder if he's still working on that. I have to imagine he's compensating for the fact that, like, I don't feel 100% confident that I can get to Leonard Williams in time. And if you're worried about that, then you're probably, you don't want to be thinking about the snap, right? Yep. And I bet that he is, because he's got 2 or 3 other things on his mind. Once the ball's snapped, this is going to be hell. Yeah. So, and I just think that probably all ties together.
That coach is really good. I mean, or whatever he is, Duke Manyweather, because I mean, you saw a huge difference in a lot of the players. Most notably Isaac. Alarcon. I mean, he worked with them all summer. I mean, the difference between him being a guy that they could put in a game. Now, nothing again. I mean, also, offensive line coach Joe Philbin's a really good coach.
Yeah, he worked with Steele as well, by the way. Which, holy crap!
Well, let's talk about Steele, because the best thing you can say about any tackle in the NFL is
that we're not talking about them.
We're not talking about them. And you go back to last year, and every single Monday morning on the rundown, there was a segment where we talked about the tackles, and Steele was a part of that. And it was because they were having so many mistakes throughout the course of those games that by the time we got to this year, most of us believed, why is he still here? Yeah. What exactly is he going to be able to do? And when Lyle was going to be out, it was like, man, they don't really have great options here. This is not going to be good. But he has played, I think, really, really good football. And I'm just more and more wondering, like, how could he factor into this? If you're like, how do you get your best five on the field?
Yeah.
Him going back to the bench seems a little weird because he's playing so well, right?
Yep, it does seem weird. But I wonder if I think Lyle will be better than that. I think, but
true.
He's playing outstanding.
Yeah.
He's playing outstanding football right now. I think it's just playing outstanding, not because it's Terence Steele. It's because I don't think he's given up any sacks. The penalties he's getting, it was aggressive. It was one of those.
So mad at those.
No one gets that mad. They've been pushed around a lot. That guy doesn't get pushed around really.
Yeah.
So I like it. I mean, he's playing. He's got a little dog in him more than I thought.
It's wild to me, and this is something I talk about all the time. Where, what am I trying to say? Like, people just assume the best and assume the worst in the offseason, and it's bit the Cowboys before. It's like, oh, all these safeties that you didn't give any money are just gonna be Pro Bowlers. That's not how the world works. Well, that's how the world works right now. Oh, you think Terence Steele is just magically going to become this much better player because he played last season? I would never have guessed, but that, like, all of these things that they were hoping would happen are happening, and Terence Steele's a big part of that. And kudos to them for fighting through it last year and giving him that time and developing this year as well. Because I don't think there's many people outside of Terrence himself and the O-line room who saw that coming.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll give some credit to Mike McCarthy, too, because I was quick to give him a lot of flack last year for those players that were here that they weren't able to do anything with. And some of the young guys, they weren't able to develop. They had a plan, obviously, for Terence Steele, and they've made it happen, and they've developed him. And credit to Terence Steele for doing the work. But I also have to give some credit to Mike McCarthy for believing in him and developing him, because that's what they did. They developed this young man.
And you can do that, and this sounds like Brian brought us talking about, you can do that when you're in your first year, second year.
True.
When you have the opportunity to, like, all right, we're gonna develop some players here. We know Trayvon Diggs is gonna give up plays, but if we play him his rookie season and keep playing him, he'll get better. And next year he'll be probably a guy that we compare to Dion. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
Yep.
Next year, Terence Steele will just compare to Anthony Munoz, probably.
Jeez, we're just going all in.
I don't know why I didn't go any of the Cowboy grades.
I was going to say, there have been some good ones around here.
I don't know. I have no idea why Anthony Munoz.
He was a good one, though.
He was pretty good.
He was a really good one.
Willie Roaf.
Oh, my guy.
Terence Steele's got a little Willie Roaf. I mean, he's gained some weight, but, I mean, Willie Roaf.
Willie Roaf was a big dude, yeah.
I just think and obviously nobody would do last season again if you had the choice. But that is a benefit of how awful it was, is I think there was an element of, like, well, if you're in hell, just keep going, Right. We're just going to keep playing Terence Steele. We're going to keep giving these guys playing time because it's going to – Trayvon Diggs, it's going to pay off. It doesn't feel like it, but it's going to pay off, and it's paying off right now.
I think now, in hindsight, they should have done that with Biotish and Looney. Looney's out of the league. Looney's on the Legend Show Wednesday night here at the Cowboys Club.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's I know you can't tank. I know you can't do that, and these guys have professional pride, but I do think they let the minuscule chance of winning the division color some of their decisions last year, where I would have preferred they do other things, like playing Tyler Biotish over Joe Looney. Like, yeah, maybe Joe gives you the best chance to win right now, and they do want to win games, but let's let's zoom out just a little bit and consider the long term as well.
You would have had Patrick Surtain and not Micah Parsons, which may not have been the worst thing. But
that's what makes the draft so fun.
Yeah.
Let me throw this out there, and I don't know that I believe this, but I want to get your opinions on it. How much do you think Dak makes Steele better? Because I do think that when you've got a starting quarterback the caliber of Dak, he raises the level of the offensive line all the way around because he's quick with getting the ball out. He knows what he's doing with it. And I think he can make your offensive line look better than they would otherwise. So how much of this that we've seen from Steele is a reflection of Dak still being there, or is it just Steele is playing at a really, really high level?
25% Dak, 75% Steele. Okay. Because in the Rams season opener, his first game, he played okay. Last drive of the game, gave up a huge sack. In the Browns game, which Dak was playing, gave up a sack too by Myles Garrett. A lot of people do that.
But I'll say yes, Myles Garrett, yes.
Right, but I'm just saying, that changed the tide of that game as well. So Dak was here playing at a pretty high level before. I think a lot of it has to do with Steele. But you're right. I mean, Dak sees it, knows what's coming, and that can help him. He slide up. We don't even think like that sometimes. Just a slide in the pocket and throw. We never think that could have been a sack. But
yeah, well, and yesterday in particular, think about how many plays Dak extended. It felt like he must have made at least 3 throws where he had a guy draped around his legs, And
he got hit 5 times and had 2 sacks, so he wasn't just clean yesterday.
No, not at all. I'm the first one to say it doesn't matter that he was playing the Giants when he got hurt and all that, but my heart was in my throat a couple times yesterday where I was like, I don't like watching Dak scramble in the third quarter of a home game against the Giants.
Going that way
do
with
not
the
like
sun
it
the way it was.
Nick mentioned that.
I was just like, I don't really like this, and I'm not really. I mean, I am superstitious. I am when it comes to things like that. So enough to think about it. But I'm just kind of like, okay, just throw it over here, punt, kick, field goal, do whatever.
We might be talking about the same one, but he broke contain in the third. I think there were 9 minutes to play or something like that, and he's coming around right tackle, and it looked like he was going to run, and I'm just like, I don't like this, and he threw it to. It was Schultz. The throw to Schultz, yeah, which maybe his best throw of the day. Yeah. It was a great throw.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I got 3 more for you. Number 1. The touchdown to CD.
Well,
he just dropped it right in there.
He did.
Yeah, that was
Number
a beautiful
2,
throw.
The touchdown to Cooper, which the play before was that was a key play. I mean,
and we said, man, Dak's not at his best today. He's a little. Boom. And then that throw is then he does that.
And it's passed to Cedric Wilson, 35 yards down the left sideline.
I forgot about that.
That was
you're right.
He was.
Yeah, he made some throws yesterday for sure. And honestly, that CD catch, I actually give CD a lot of credit for that because if you go back and watch it, CD kicked in another gear there. That ball. I think that's the beauty of that Dak has. Dak has a number of receivers that he can just throw it. Just throw it, and they will figure out a way. Oh, I just need to run under this. Yeah. Okay, I have an extra gear where I can get under this, and he just runs under it.
It was good to get him back in there. One more game of not had a lot of stats, it would have been a little, what's going on? Just get
You mean from the fan and media standpoint?
Which that happens because people start talking.
I don't know this about CD. I don't think it's true. But I think there's an element of just redeem the faith. It's it doesn't matter that you don't have stats. The offense is rolling, but you get a belly rub in there.
That's exactly right.
You redeem his faith that it's going to come.
Yeah.
And like I said, I have no evidence that CD would have been frustrated. But it's just nice to just not even have to worry about it.
I think you even said that. One of you guys said that to me after the first play when they did the little bubble screen to him. And it was like,
I joked to Derek. I was like, we didn't forget about you, buddy.
Right. Yeah. We're just taking care of you. Yeah. We'll get you involved early this time. Yeah. And we'll see how it goes.
The exciting part is, and this is not a disrespect to the guys that are out, but I just don't see. I can't just visualize Lyle playing way better than what we've seen with Terence Steele. I can visualize Gallup doing a ton more than what we've seen from Cedric Wilson. I mean, he's a different type of player.
I think I disagree with that. I'm excited to see what happens when Gallup comes back. I think there's an element missing with him not part of this.
It becomes bombs away is what it becomes.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Which is it sounds dumb because Coop and Lamb can obviously both do it, but.
What we saw yesterday.
But Gallup and Dak just have this thing.
I don't see what Tank's going to give that Basham's not giving you. I'm joking on that one.
Honestly, if you start just going down the list of what they're missing with all the guys that are out, it is hard to make a list because they're not really suffering a lot with the guys that are out. They're not.
Let's also talk about Jabril Cox. for a second.
Got his moment yesterday.
Because that play was weird. Because the play, he got in the game as goal line. Mm-hmm. And so we know, hey, they're cutting Jalen for different reasons here. And one of them, though, obviously was to get Jabril Cox in the game because there he is. We have seen that play before 3 years ago
from Jalen.
When it was Kamara. We've seen Deshaun Watson running. Yeah. We've seen him run that way. And we know he can't do that anymore.
He did it then. Yeah, can't. I don't think he'll do that
really.
Again.
I don't think he can make that play. But if you just go back and watch Jabril Cox's speed that he turns on right there, and it's unfortunate what happened with Daniel Jones. I'll tell you what I loved. One of my favorite things that I saw, Jaron Kearse. That's a bad dude now. I mean, I'm talking about.
I love the attitude.
No, I love it too.
Him, KZ, I like it.
I love it too. If I got to go into the dark alley, I mean, I'm asking if he can come with me.
Can you hold my hand, please?
Right. But or can you just go for me? Can you just take care of it? But he's a bad dude. And when Daniel Jones looked like he was walking like it was 2:15 out of a bar, I mean, it was kind of like. Whoa. Jaron Kearse was one that he saw it, went up to him. I mean, he went to kind of help him and catch him. I loved that part. Yeah. I mean, that's because when you're like, okay, football's done. There's a person,
it's a man,
and everyone. Yeah. I've heard people in the building go, I hope that guy's okay. They could just see it. It wasn't, but what a great play by Jabril Cox, who got himself in a few other plays.
He played 4 snaps.
He did?
Of defense.
Okay.
I was surprised too.
Yeah.
But they had a plan for him. I talked to him about that. I was like, why goal line? Like, why was that your thing? Why was that what they wanted to work on with you? And he's just like, I think, my size and my speed comes in handy in a situation like that. And
because you're dealing with Saquon and you're dealing with Daniel Jones.
It sure did. I mean, he was like, I knew they were going to test me. I knew that they see that a rookie's on the field. I knew they were going to try to take advantage of it. And yeah, I mean, it sucks that Daniel Jones got hurt on the play, but what an awesome effort. And then he told me he obviously caught the onside kick. He told me he thought he could have housed it. And I was like,
I thought he kind of hesitated a bit once he
caught
it.
You said that. You were like, why didn't he just go down?
Yeah.
Well, he was like, they were kind of slow coming up on me, and I think I could have scored, but I was like, it's probably not worth it in this situation.
Oh, that place would have gone crazy.
Oh my God.
Oh, that place.
I was like, CD did that last year, right? Like, are you aware of that? He was like, oh yeah, I know, and I thought I had a chance, but
who was our guy back against the Eagles?
Randall Williams.
Randall Williams, yes. Randall Williams returned it for a touchdown. So onside kick, yeah.
So it's weird because I was the one that said, it was like, they're not going to throw Cox into the fire immediately and just give him all these snaps. And they didn't, but I was still even a little surprised that in nut cutting time, goal line, they're like, yeah, get out there, buddy. This is what you're here for. It's cool for them to have that faith in him, and it's even cooler that he delivered.
Well, the great part is that just means, like, once again, they got a young player that they're going to keep developing, and let's see what he is by next year. Like, that's what I love about what they did this last year in the draft. They just threw a bunch of pieces at the wall, and they're finding that a lot of those guys might actually have something. Now, it's too early to really know for sure, but you really are liking what you're seeing from this draft class.
Too early to know about who? Because, it ain't too early to know about Micah.
I'll just put it like this.
I'll throw Osa in there, too.
There have been a lot of years where you get a draft class, and in the first 2 years, you're like, oh my gosh, like if they do this every year, and then by year 4, it's kind of like, well, do we really want to keep this guy? No, I don't think we're going to keep this guy. I don't think we're going to keep this guy. And then it dwindles down, and before you know it, you don't have any of those guys left on your team.
They're not all 6 of these guys that are playing right now are going to be Pro Bowlers.
Right. But I love what they're doing right now.
They're off to an amazing start.
Definitely. All right. We appreciate you guys joining us. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll get a big picture look at this team, and then we'll start getting you ready for Cowboys versus Patriots. Till then, for Nick Eatman, Dave Hellman, I'm Derek Eagleton. This has been The Break, live on DallasCowboys.com radio.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!